In the quiet passing of time, the world pauses when a legend leaves us. Today, we gather not to mourn in silence, but to honor the voices, visions, and talents that shaped our lives. These were the artists, the dreamers, and the storytellers, who gave us unforgettable moments through film, fashion, and television. Their journeys were different, yet each carried the same thread of impact, weaving into our culture and memories forever. From the elegance of high fashion to the power of the silver screen and the familiar faces of television, these icons touched millions. As we reflect on their lives, we remember not only their achievements, but also the humanity and passion that made them irreplaceable. The world awoke to solemn news. Giorgio Armani, the man who turned fabric into poetry, passed away on September 4, 2025. At the age of 91, his journey ended quietly in Milan, the city where his name became a symbol of timeless elegance. The announcement was confirmed by his fashion house, sending waves of sorrow through Italy and beyond. Born in Piacenza in 1934, Armani began his career with humble steps. He first worked as a window dresser before entering the world of fashion design. His early years at Cerruti 1881 gave him the foundation to understand tailoring in its purest form. By 1975, with courage and vision, he launched his own label, a decision that would forever change the language of style. Armani's genius was in simplicity. He removed the excess, creating suits and jackets that moved with the body. His designs softened the hard edges of menswear, giving men freedom, while offering women sleek silhouettes that blended power and grace. This minimalism was not emptiness, but clarity. It was clothing that spoke softly, yet carried strength. In Hollywood, Armani's work became a second skin for stars. His jackets appeared in films, on stages, and most famously, on red carpets. From Richard Gere in American Gigolo to countless Oscars evenings, his clothing framed the way we remember celebrity beauty. As one critic once wrote, Armani didn't just dress the stars. He defined the image of the star. The news of his passing brought heartfelt tributes. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni called him a national treasure whose name will forever honor our culture. Actor Robert De Niro, long a friend of the designer, shared, "Giorgio gave us elegance without arrogance. That was his gift." Across social media, fans described his work as not just fashion, but a lifestyle. Armani's empire grew far beyond clothing. Hotels, restaurants, even sports uniforms carried his vision of refined simplicity. Yet through global expansion, he remained a private and disciplined man. Those close to him spoke of his long days at the office, his eye for detail, and his belief that elegance was found in restraint. In remembering him, many point to his influence on gender and identity. Armani's tailoring offered women a new way to be powerful without abandoning femininity. At the same time, he softened masculinity, removing stiffness and creating ease. His designs became a mirror of cultural change in the late 20th century. A fashion historian once said, "Before Armani, a suit was armor. After Armani, it was expression." That simple shift became his legacy. He opened doors for countless designers who followed, proving that innovation could exist in minimal lines and muted colors. The morning in Milan has been described as quiet but deep. The city's streets, where Armani built his empire, carry a sense of loss. Floral tributes appeared outside his headquarters, and his staff, many of whom worked with him for decades, spoke of a man who demanded excellence, but also inspired loyalty through kindness. In his final years, Armani remained active. Even in his late 80s, he attended fashion shows, reviewed collections, and guided the next generation of talent. His presence was steady, his influence never dimmed. Unlike many who stepped away, Armani chose to work until the end, as though fashion itself was the rhythm of his life. The farewell is heavy, but the legacy is luminous. His name will remain on boutiques across the world, on the labels sewn into jackets and dresses, and in the imagination of designers yet to come. Every time a man wears a soft-shouldered suit, or a woman walks in quiet confidence dressed in tailored elegance, Armani's hand will be present. As one tribute read, he clothed the world in confidence, and for that, he will never be forgotten. Giorgio Armani leaves us not only with fabric and design, but with a philosophy. That true elegance is simple, that beauty is timeless, and that the quietest lines often speak the loudest. His story closes, but his vision continues, woven into the very fabric of how we live, dress, and remember. The world received heartbreaking news. Bruce Willis, the beloved actor who carried action films on his shoulders and brought emotion to every role, passed away peacefully in September 2025. He was 70 years old. The announcement was met with silence, shock, and sorrow across the globe, as millions remembered the man who became more than just a star on the screen. Born Walter Bruce Willis on March 19, 1955, in Idar Oberstein, West Germany, he was the son of an American soldier and a German mother. His family later moved to New Jersey, where Bruce grew up with a love for performance. He began in small plays, worked as a bartender, and fought his way through auditions before landing his breakthrough. His early struggles made him relatable, and even in success, he carried the spirit of an ordinary man who never gave up. His rise began with the television series Moonlighting in the mid-1980s. With humor, charm, and quick wit, he captured the attention of audiences and critics alike. But it was in 1988 that Bruce Willis changed the film industry forever. His role as John McClane in Die Hard introduced a new kind of hero. He was not invincible. He was not perfect. He was human, flawed, funny, scared, but determined. Viewers saw themselves in him. That became his signature, and John McClane became one of the most iconic characters in cinema. Over the decades, Willis starred in more than 100 films. He brought intensity to thrillers, heart to dramas, and laughter to comedies. His versatility kept him in demand. In Pulp Fiction, he played a boxer fighting for his survival. In The Fifth Element, he stood at the edge of science fiction. In The Sixth Sense, he gave one of his most emotional performances as Dr. Malcolm Crowe, a role that revealed the depth of his talent. That film's quiet power showed audiences that Bruce Willis could move them not just with action, but with silence. Tributes have poured in from every corner of the entertainment world. Director M. Night Shyamalan shared, "Bruce believed in me when no one else did. He gave me my career, and he gave the world some of its most unforgettable stories." Fellow actor Samuel L. Jackson wrote, "He wasn't just an action hero. He was a friend, a brother, and a true professional. The world has lost a giant." Fans across social media have echoed those words, calling him the everyman hero and the face of courage in cinema. His career was not without its struggles. In his later years, Bruce stepped back from acting after being diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia, a condition that slowly took away his ability to perform. His family announced his retirement in 2022, and fans around the world rallied behind him with love and respect. His wife, Emma Hemming Willis, often shared glimpses of their life together, writing in one tribute, "He may no longer be on screen, but he remains the center of our family. His strength is in the love he gives us every day." Behind the fame, Bruce was known as a devoted father. His daughters, both from his first marriage with actress Demi Moore and his later marriage to Emma, often spoke about his warmth and humor. Family remained his anchor. Despite the flashing lights of Hollywood, he cherished quiet moments, playing music, spending time at home, and laughing with those he loved. The streets of New York, the city that defined much of his on-screen character, felt the weight of his absence. Fans gathered outside theaters, leaving flowers and candles near posters of Die Hard and The Sixth Sense. Television networks re-aired his greatest films, turning living rooms into places of remembrance. What set Bruce apart was his ability to make audiences believe. He made vulnerability powerful. He turned fear into courage. Whether walking barefoot across broken glass in Die Hard or whispering gentle words in The Sixth Sense, his presence reminded us that true strength comes from the heart. His impact extended beyond film. Bruce supported charities, veterans groups, and children's organizations, often quietly, without public attention. He believed in giving back, in being a force for good when the cameras were off. In looking back, it becomes clear that Bruce Willis shaped not just movies, but culture itself. He taught us that a hero could be tired, bruised, or broken and still stand tall. He reminded us that humor and hope could live even in the darkest of moments. He was more than Hollywood. He was humanity on screen. As one fan wrote online, "Bruce, Willis made us believe that ordinary people could do extraordinary things, and that's why he will never be forgotten." His journey ends, but his legacy continues in the countless films that will inspire generations to come. Every time an action hero shows fear, every time a story mixes strength with vulnerability, a part of Bruce lives on. He leaves us with memories of laughter, of courage, and of quiet strength. Bruce Willis was not only an action star, he was a man who made us feel human, and for that, his name will remain eternal. Farewell to Bruce Willis, the everyman hero who never truly leaves the screen, and whose spirit will forever shine in the stories we tell. The film world shared a quiet sadness in August 2025. Terence Stamp, the English actor whose presence brought elegance to cinema for more than 6 decades, passed away at the age of 87. His death on August 17th marked the end of a career filled with unforgettable performances and a life devoted to art. Born on July 22, 1938, in Stepney, East London, Stamp grew up in modest surroundings. His early years were shaped by the working-class spirit of post-war Britain. Yet even in those beginnings, there was a spark of ambition. After training at the Webber Douglas Academy of Dramatic Art, he entered the theater world, where his striking looks and commanding voice quickly drew attention. In 1962, he made his American film debut in Billy Budd. His performance as the young sailor earned him immediate praise, including an Academy Award nomination and a Golden Globe win. Critics hailed him as one of the most promising actors of his generation. From that moment, Terence Stamp was not simply another actor. He was a force, one whose screen presence demanded attention. He went on to play a wide range of roles, but it was his villains that left the deepest mark. In The Collector, 1965, his chilling portrayal of a man consumed by obsession won him the Best Actor award at Cannes. Later, his role as General Zod in Superman and Superman 2 gave the world one of the most memorable antagonists in film history. His line, "Kneel before Zod," became more than dialogue. It became legend. Stamp's career reflected versatility. He could embody menace with quiet control, but he also delivered tenderness and vulnerability in films like Far from the Madding Crowd and Poor Cow. He was not limited by typecasting. Instead, he embraced complexity, showing audiences that even villains carried humanity within them. Tributes to Stamp have come from across the film industry. British director Stephen Frears called him a man who brought poetry to menace and dignity to villainy. Fellow actor Michael Caine, a lifelong friend, shared, "Terence had a presence that could silence a room. On screen, he was magnetic. Off-screen, he was loyal, kind, and unforgettable." Fans online remembered him simply as the villain with a soul. In later years, he moved seamlessly into supporting roles, always lending gravitas to the screen. In The Limey, 1999, his performance as a father seeking justice was hailed as one of the best of his later career. He brought a raw intensity to that role, showing that his power as an actor had only deepened with time. Away from acting, Terence Stamp lived a reflective life. He explored spirituality, traveled widely, and wrote memoirs about his career and personal journey. Those who knew him described him as thoughtful, disciplined, and deeply connected to his roots. Fame never erased the humility of the boy from Stepney. His death leaves a silence in cinema. The villains he created were not caricatures. They were layered, complex, and often more human than the heroes they opposed. In this way, Terence Stamp expanded the possibilities of acting, proving that strength could be quiet and menace could be graceful. As one critic once wrote, "When Stamp entered a scene, you did not look away. He did not just act. He transformed the air around him." That presence is what made him unforgettable. The legacy of Terence Stamp will not fade. His films continue to inspire young actors and audiences alike, reminding us of the power of restraint, subtlety, and elegance in performance. He leaves behind not just roles, but lessons on what it means to inhabit a character fully. He will be remembered as a man who gave cinema villains their dignity and heroes their shadows. Terence Stamp showed us that grace and menace could live side by side. And so, we say farewell to a legend whose artistry will live on, frame by frame, in the stories he gave us. The soap opera world fell into quiet mourning in August 2025. Tristan Rogers, the actor who brought charm, warmth, and depth to daytime television for more than 4 decades, passed away on August 15th at the age of 79. His death was confirmed by his family, who described him as a man who lived with joy, loved his craft, and gave his heart to his fans. Born on June 3, 1946, in Melbourne, Australia, Rogers began his career with small roles in film and television before moving to the United States. It was there in the early 1980s that he stepped into the role that would define his legacy, Robert Scorpio on General Hospital. His performance as the witty, courageous, and sometimes conflicted secret agent won over audiences almost immediately. For fans, Robert Scorpio was more than a character. He was a companion, appearing in living rooms every afternoon, carrying viewers through decades of storylines. Rogers gave him layers, strength mixed with humor, romance tied with loyalty, and vulnerability beneath the hero's mask. He became one of the most beloved figures in daytime television, cementing General Hospital as a cultural landmark. The tributes to Rogers have been heartfelt and deeply personal. His longtime co-star Finola Hughes wrote, "Tristan was the heartbeat of our stories. He made the work fun and he made our characters real. I will miss his laughter more than anything." On social media, fans described him as the gentleman of soaps and the actor who made afternoons brighter. In addition to his legendary soap opera career, Rogers also lent his voice to the world of animation. Many remember him as Jake the Kangaroo in Disney's The Rescuers Down Under. That role connected him with an entirely new generation of fans, showing his versatility and his ability to bring warmth to even the smallest details of performance. Even as he became a household name, Rogers never lost his Australian roots. He often spoke proudly of his heritage and remained a global figure in the acting community. His career stretched across continents, yet his presence was always grounded, approachable, and human. Behind the camera, Rogers was known as a generous colleague and a mentor to younger actors. He shared advice, encouraged others, and reminded those around him that storytelling was about people, not just performance. His professionalism and kindness made him a steady presence on set, even during the challenges of soap opera schedules that demanded long hours and constant creativity. In later years, Rogers continued to reprise his role on General Hospital, returning for special arcs that thrilled loyal fans. Each appearance felt like a reunion, a reminder of the comfort and continuity that daytime dramas provide. His mere presence brought waves of nostalgia and gratitude, as if time itself had folded back. The news of his passing leaves an emptiness that cannot easily be filled. Soap operas thrive on long-running connections, and Rogers was a thread that tied generations together. Viewers watched him for decades, through changing storylines, shifting casts, and evolving times. To lose him feels for many like losing a part of their own history. Actor John J. York, another colleague, shared, "He was the kind of person who made you better just by being near him. Tristan taught us all how to balance work with life, and how to treat every fan with respect." Those words reflect the countless encounters fans had with Rogers, at conventions, events, or on the street, where he greeted them with sincerity and kindness. What made Tristan Rogers unique was not only his longevity, but his ability to make television intimate. He gave audiences the sense that they knew him, that Robert Scorpio's adventures and struggles were part of their own daily lives. His characters became companions during times of joy and hardship, and that intimacy is what fans will carry forward. As one fan wrote in a tribute, "For 40 years, he was there with us. He made us laugh, he made us cry, and he never let us down." Losing him feels like saying goodbye to family. His legacy also stretches into the way soap operas are remembered. In a world of fast-changing media, Rogers represented the lasting power of daytime television. He showed that stories told over decades could matter just as deeply as the biggest films or primetime shows. He proved that acting, no matter the format, could shape lives. In his final years, Rogers often reflected on his career with gratitude. He once said in an interview, "If people remember me with a smile, then I've done my job. That simple wish is now fulfilled." He is remembered with smiles, with tears, and with the gratitude of millions. Tristan Rogers leaves behind his family, his colleagues, and a global fan base who will never forget the joy he brought into their homes. His passing is a loss to the entertainment world, but his presence remains alive in the countless hours of film and television that will continue to be watched and cherished. He will forever be the gentleman of soap operas, the voice that charmed, the actor who endured, and the man who made the ordinary feel extraordinary. His story may have reached its final scene, but his legacy remains in every memory, every episode, and every heart that carries his work forward. Farewell to Tristan Rogers, a performer who became family, and a gentleman whose impact will never fade.